Morning guys, I'm starting the video series here for how to detail a car, and I'm going to split this into two sections, interior and exterior, just to keep it real simple. Interior is obviously going to be real quick compared to the exterior, and I'm just gathering my stuff together here. This is some of the stuff I'll be using, and I just hit a snag. I had at least one brand new can of window cleaner. I prefer to use the foaming type rather than Windex or any kind of household or kitchen cleaner. And I have a pretty good idea of where it went. So I just got to run out to the store real quick, and that's all I need to do the interior video. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, back from Wally World. Got my can of the glass cleaner that I like. Had a slight delay because the lawn crew was next door making a bunch of noise. Now we're ready to start. Now, before I go into this, overall, there's a couple things I just want to mention, and I mention these from experience. If you're doing this for the first time, and sometimes that's the only time for people, this can be a very long process. I'm talking about the interior and exterior. If you have your doors open for a long time, or you're playing your radio, or both, your battery can run down. So just be aware of that. Be aware of how long you've been there. Maybe disconnect your battery if you have to, or take it in stages. You know, start up the car, make sure it's still good. Just want to make sure nobody gets stranded. So that's the most important thing. For the interior here, we're not using that much. Okay, and this is slightly going to depend on your vehicle. I no longer have leather seats, so the only thing leather in here I'll be treating is the gear shift knob and the steering wheel. For that, I'm using Meguiar's Gold Class leather conditioner and protector. You can use just about any brand. They're pretty much all the same these days. Basically, it's like a hand lotion, and you just want to treat the leather with it. You use a cotton or terry cloth, cleaning cloth for that. These are really cheap. I got a big roll of it at Walmart for like $3. Okay, they're washable. I use these for applying things like that. That's great. For the glass, you have several options for cleaning it. You can go with the straight Windex. You can go with kitchen, bath, normal household cleaners. I prefer foaming glass cleaner. Not only does it clean a lot better, a lot quicker, and a lot easier, it is a one-step process. If you don't want to get that or don't have that, the next best thing is just straight, regular, original Windex. Sometimes you may have to do the window twice, but that does clean it the best. I do not recommend any other specialty type cleaners, but the foaming stuff really does work the best. It grabs the grime, it leaves a truly streak-free window, and it is a one-stop deal. I strongly suggest you only use paper towels to clean your glass. You can use cotton and stuff if you want, but just know that you are going to get these dirty real fast, and you're going to go through a lot of them. If you try to use cotton towels, you better have a huge stash of them, because they are just going to get smeared with gunk. The paper towel, it's cheap, it absorbs a lot of stuff, and believe me, I'm going to go through probably this whole roll and maybe more just to do the interior of the windows once. Now, if you have any kind of damage, I don't have any on this one, but I had some on the Mini. Some service tech put a nice little scratch in my dash display right in front of the tachometer. So if you have anything like that, this is great stuff. I actually use it more on my photography gear, on my plexiglass shooting tables. But basically, it is like a scratch remover for clear plastic. And I think I might have got this at Walmart, but if not, you can get it here from plexusplastic.cleaner.com. It works wonderfully. You simply spray it on your cloth, and you polish the scratch out. It does not completely remove the scratch, but it optically removes it. You just don't see it. You can feel it with your fingernail, but who cares? Really great stuff. It was only, I think, like $7. Obviously, you don't use it much, but it just works. So if you have scratches on any of your clear plastic on the interior, this is the stuff. Doesn't do anything for glass, just plastic. So I won't be using this, but I wanted to show it to you because I know a lot of people are going to have that. So first step, obviously, clean. We need to vacuum it out. I'm going to pull the mats out, shake them off, get out any kind of trash. I got some papers, I got a monster can in there, so just throw out all the garbage, get the mats out, shake them off, then we're going to vacuum them, and we're going to vacuum the whole interior. If you have a shop vac, that works the best. Next best option is a vacuum cleaner with a hose attachment. Next best is go to the car wash and spend a few bucks on their vacuum. But that is the first step. Just remove all the big stuff out of the way. Now to get up the really stubborn stuff on the carpets, use your shop vac and use any kind of fairly stiff bristled brush to kind of scrub the stuff ahead of the shop vac or the vacuum, because the vacuum alone is not going to get stuff out of the carpet. It needs to be agitated. So I'm just going to take the shop vac. I'll show you back here what I'm doing. I'm just going to follow along with the vacuum as I kind of brush it up, and that'll get up all these little tiny specks in here that you can see, but they're not loose, so just running the vacuum over them doesn't pick anything up. Sometimes you can use attachments. If you have a small crevice tool with a brush on it, that's perfect. Mine doesn't happen to have that. My vacuum cleaner has one, but this is 10 times stronger, so I'm just going to use this. Okay, so that's 99% clean. There's some stuff you can see, but there's no physical particulate dirt left in here. If you want to get real clean, I mean like showroom clean, go ahead and hit it with a handheld powered vacuum or anything that's going to help scrub the carpet. But I'm just going to finish this off with a wet cloth because I've got some caked on dirt and mud and stuff here, and that'll clean all this up. So I'm just going to go ahead and vacuum the rest of the car the same way, and then I'll start on the glass. Okay, vacuuming's done. Interior is about 99% clean. If you want it absolutely showroom clean, you got to buy new mats. You're never going to get them looking color and wear-wise brand new again, but you can get off all the particulates. That's what matters. That's what damages things. So just get it really nice and clean with the vacuum, and you're all set. With the glass, it's really easy, like I said, with this spray stuff. The cool thing is, unlike using Windex, you don't have to worry about it running down the window. This is a nice, fairly thick foam, So when you spray it on the window, and it is safe on tint, by the way, so you can use it interior, exterior, doesn't matter what you got on your glass. You can just spray it on, give it a nice even coat. I use a couple paper towels to then kind of smear it and clean the window, and then a couple fresh paper towels to take it off. If it's not perfectly clean, which it may not be if it's really dirty. Now, I have pretty dirty interiors and windows because I hardly ever use air conditioning. I thought I would with this because it actually blows really cold, but I'm not a fan of air conditioning in general. I like driving with the windows down. So that lets a lot of crap into the car. So I get a real nasty film on all the windows, especially in the back because it kind of swirls around in the back of the car and the rear window gets real nasty. So sometimes I have to do 2 applications. But if your car is normal, or if you use AC, the window's up a lot, probably 1 is going to do it. But all you do is spray it on, even coverage, then a clean, then a take off. And this is perfectly safe to get on any kind of interior. You don't have to worry about it getting on plastic or electronics or anything like that. I mean, don't intentionally do it, but it's not going to harm anything. You can also tell how dirty your windows are by how much white foam sticks around. The dirtier it is, the faster it kind of disappears. So there you go. It's kind of like that fake Christmas snow, huh? Ah, came out backwards. So now just grab a good wad of paper towel and clean it. Stuff is really good soap, and you can feel it taking off the grime. It gets a little less slippery. If you don't have tint, if it's just straight glass, when it's really clean, you get that squeaky feel. Now this one is not that dirty. There's hardly any black grime at all coming off. You probably can't even see it on the video. I can just see it on the edges here where it's not real wet. So this, all in all, is pretty clean. So now I'm just going to use fresh paper towel. You see why using cotton would be a real pain in the butt. See, now I can tell it's clean because it's getting real hard. It's dragging, and I'm getting the squeak noise. So there's no oil or grime left on this glass. Now this has factory tinting, so it's not a film applied to the window, so it is straight glass. And there we go. Perfectly clean. Beautiful. Is that on? Yeah, it's on the outside. I couldn't tell. Okay, I'm going to go around and do the other windows and turn my attention to the dashboard. One other thing to note, I am not washing any of the interior of the door frame at this time, or the door panel, or anything like that. Okay, number one, that's going to get your stuff completely filthy. That is for when I do the exterior. I do all this kind of body cleaning work with the exterior. When I do the interior, it's just carpet, seats, interface, and interior glass work. Okay, don't worry about cleaning the door sills or the weather seals or anything like that when you're just doing the interior. Now, if you can see on the windshield here, I just did one application. You know what, let me take the phone out here. The windshields always need 2 swipes. You can see that not much foam stuck to it here in the first pass compared to the windows. It's because it's really dirty. I do the windshield in halves. So I just sit in this half, I'll do this half twice, and then I'll go over and I'll do the other half twice. Now, because I do the windshield twice, I'm not real worried about getting every single spot, making sure there's no streak, because I'm going to hit it again right now. Now you can see the difference. Now you can see how much more foam stuck because it's a lot cleaner than it was the first time around. There we go. Half the windshield is perfectly squeaky, crystal clear, clean. I'm going to use the same stuff on the interior mirror, and I'm going to go over and hit the other half of the windshield. Just in case you're wondering the reason there isn't as much foam that sticks around on a dirty window, because there are particles that break the surface tension of the soap bubbles, basically. So they dissipate a lot quicker and turn into a liquid. I was surprised my back weren't more dirty than they were. One coat took care of them. Windshield wasn't awful bad, but it did take two just because it had a lot of oil in it. You get a lot of that out of the evaporation from yourself in the car. Alright, that's it for the back. Now onto the dashboard and the steering wheel. Okay, before I start, a couple things. One, if you live in an area where you have a lot of sun or UV damage to the interior, especially the dashboard of your car, it is very important that you protect the dash. There's multiple ways you can do it. The simplest way is don't park in the sun. Obviously, that's not an option for everybody. That's what I choose to do. I love my garage and I want to park in it. Most people around here don't. They have crap in their garage and they park outside. And they get sun damage. Well, I like to keep my cars looking as new as possible for as long as possible. So that's my solution. But maybe you park outside at work. Okay, you can put up a sunscreen in your windshield. That is an awesome, simple solution. You can also use dash protectors. You know, like the carpet ones that cover the dash. I think they're butt ugly as hell. I would never do that to my car, but you know, if you got an old, damaged car, that's a good option. Makes it look better at least. You can also apply Armor All or other similar protectants. These have pros and cons. Okay, the pros are it does protect your dash. It does protect the material from sun and UV damage. You do have to periodically reapply it, but it's super easy to do. You simply spray it onto a cotton cloth and wipe your dash. That's all there is to it. The downside to it is it glosses the dash. So you see a reflection in your windshield. That's a deal breaker for me. I can't stand reflections in the windshield, and I can't stand seeing the dashboard, you know, halfway through my vision every time I'm out driving. So I want the stock matte finish on the dashboard materials, so I'd never use an Armor All. I used to. Still got a bunch in this bottle. My wife likes it, so I do hers, but not for me. So for the dash and everything else that you touch except leather, I use the same foaming glass cleaner. I just simply do one quick coat. You don't have to scrub it. You just wipe it back off. This is where things get really dirty. All right, this takes up all the road grime from the dashboard. And you can't see it until you take it up. So if you do use a cotton cloth, you are going to go through them real quick at this part. Or you can just use paper towels. This is fine on all plastics, on your displays, on your tachometer, on your gauges, on your radio, knobs, chrome, doesn't matter. Doesn't hurt a thing. It's very gentle and mild, but it does quickly take stuff up. And I love it also because it doesn't drip. You can't spray Windex or anything like that on the dash. That's too liquid. But this is perfectly safe. I don't know if you can see that, but that's black and nasty, compared to the windows at least. Now it's really obvious coming off. Now bear in mind, I don't have that many miles on this. So, what I put on, not even 5,000 miles. So, it's not that dirty. But I need to do this because it's never been done. The outside is more important than what I'm doing right now. I'm just showing you the interior so you know what to do. Not that it's rocket science or anything. It's just what I like to do. This is real good for all the buttons on your steering wheel too. They get a lot of grime and schmutz on them. So clean that off. Don't forget your wiper stalks, steering column itself. Out of paper towels, look at that, told you. Good timing. And the wife's home. Now to watch, she'll want me to do hers. Alright, I'm going to pause this and then we'll finish it up and hit the leather. One thing I forgot to mention is the door panels, same thing as a dashboard. Just hit them with the spray. Now mine are actually pretty darn clean. I'll just do a quick wipe here at the top where I put my arm. That is pretty much all there is. So I don't use my door pockets or anything. I'll hit the armrest. There we go, that looks better. So yeah, it's real easy. I love this stuff because it works really well, number one. And it's just quick and safe. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, now the leather. You have leather seats, same thing. I just have the wheel, and I'm not even going to do the shift knob. It's still like new. But it's important to condition anything that you touch, especially where your butt rubs, where the bolsters are, where your hands fit, because the oils in your skin, your sweat, the heat, it does wear the natural oils out of the leather, and that's what causes it to crack. Especially if it's in sunlight, UV damage can accelerate it. So you need the leather itself to be pliable and soft at all times in order for it to keep flexing and stop from cracking and drying out and wearing. So this still feels brand new, you know, obviously it doesn't have that much on it, but it's a little dirty. So the beauty of these leather conditioners is it's a cleaner and a conditioner in one. Basically you do the same steps that you do with this, with the other stuff. One quick one to clean and then one quick one to wipe and condition. And it's kind of like hair conditioner, you're going to leave a little bit on it. Yeah, it's not that you have to scrub it completely off or dry. And it pretty much looks like a hand cream. You have to make sure it's very well mixed. And you do want to apply it with cotton cloths. If you're just doing your steering wheel, you can use one, just use one side and then the other. If you're doing seats, you'll want a couple different cloths, probably 4 or 6. One for applying, one for cleaning. There's nothing special you need to do as far as let it sit or anything. It's literally wipe on, wipe off. Just like a little colored gel. Put a little bit in your cloth. Wipe everything off. If it's very dirty, you're going to have to be pretty generous. There's hardly anything coming off, just a little bit of black, just general dirt. You don't want to put this stuff on the plastics of your car. Okay, I got some dirt off there, off the bottom. That's where I usually hang my fingers. So I'm going to do another couple little squirts here. Concentrate on the bottom. You don't want to get this on your plastics, not because it'll damage it, because it's like Armor All. It will leave a very high gloss. It has a lot of oils in it. So don't get this on your dashboard or your door panels or anything like that. And it will make it fairly slick for a while. If you're not a fan of that, and honestly I'm not, just watch it, because your steering wheel will be a little bit more slippery, especially if it was not conditioned properly to begin with, if it was very dry. It's not like it's going to be like an oil slick slippery. That means you've got too much on there. But it's not going to be like it was if it was totally dry. So there we go. Now we're nice and cleaned. Whole bunch of grime and crap off of that. So now I'm just going to put one squirt on this clean section here, go over it once more. Just a general wipe. Making sure to get all the actual leather, just so those oils can soak in. And that's it. We don't have to take it off. It will naturally dry to the right amount, as long as you just use one squirt. Bam, there we go. And that came off with just a little bit of grime left on there. So that's fine. Okay, I think that covers the interior. See, not that hard, not that time consuming. You saw it real time, and I'm wasting time talking and putzing around with the tripod. So you can do this whole thing in 15-20 minutes, no problem. Doesn't matter how dirty the car is, you just covered all of it. Real simple, just a couple different products, some paper towel, and a couple bucks worth of cotton cloths, and you can do the interior showroom clean yourself anytime for just about free. Alright, so I'm out of time today. I will continue this, and we'll finish up with a big ass video on the exterior, because this is going to be more than just cleaning, and it's going to be really detailing the paint. I'm going to do a clay bar, I'm going to talk about polishes, I'm going to talk about waxes, applications, products. I've got a lot of experience with it, stuff I've tried, stuff you may want to avoid. So we'll go through all that. Not exactly sure when I'll get to that part. I've got to shoot all afternoon tomorrow. Definitely can't do it then. I did get a couple more website gigs with data. I just got a new one today. So I am getting a little backed up again with work, but I will definitely do that as soon as possible. And I will have that brake job video, because I need to get that done as soon as possible. Not that there's a problem. Brakes are working fine, but I want some better performance. That's for damn sure. See you guys tomorrow.